What's up everybody, Jackson here, and today I got a video. This is a guide on how to beat every boss in Sodden Sanctuary using the Thief class. Now, the bosses in this video appear in the order in which I defeated them, of course, with the exception being the Unspeakable Deep. I did not beat him on my first playthrough, as he is kind of a cunt the first time you come up against him on your first time seeing him, you know. So he killed me. I assumed it was a Dark Souls thing and I was going to be able to fight him later. I didn't find out till after I had beaten the game that he was only available in the prologue. So with that out of the way, let's just jumped right into it. And I'm going to lay out moves in this video. I'm going to lay out timing, like when you're going to want to roll. Now keep in mind that this is the Thief class, alright? And as with all Souls style games, there's going to be general strategies that pretty much apply to every boss. These being, get behind it, dodge, time your hills as you would your attacks, you know what I mean? So you're not, and these are just general strategies that will definitely help you out. So let's get right into it with the Unspeakable Deep. As you can see, for the most part with this, he's only got 3 attacks. He's got that one, that's a one-handed attack right there. You've probably noticed this one, the jump, leap, and slam. You don't want to be in front of him when he does that, as it will lift you up and then slam you down and kill you. Don't get hit on this guy. As you can see, I'm doing this fight in typical Dark Souls fashion. I'm doing it in the nude because the gear at this point, it serves no purpose except for to slow your roll down. So make sure you drop that. I chose the healing vials on him, but trust me, if you get hit on the Thief by the Unspeakable Deep, you're gonna die. Okay, he's gonna kill you. So now that we've slowly whittled him down with our dagger is what I've been doing. If you couldn't tell, this is key. Just don't get hit, right? And then I slowly used up all of the grenades that it gives you in the beginning. And after that, we're gonna slowly start using our knives to kind of get some poison damage on him. It doesn't do a hell of a lot, but it's doing something because the dagger's doing jack shit. And at most, you're gonna get 2 swipes in at his back before you're forced to stop swinging and dodge, right? Because like I said, the key to beating this guy, don't get hit. If you get hit, you will die. You are dead. That is the end. So now we're using up our knives. We're just gonna slowly whittle him down with our dagger, and by throwing the frost fang knives at him. I think that's what they're called. Forest Fang, something like that. Basically, they're the poison knives, and they fucking, it does poison him. If you can tell up there, like when the lightning flashes, you can see that little green effect around him. That's poison. And by the way, I'm going to say this right out of the gate as another part of my strategy guide. I definitely recommend you guys go with the Stone Roots faction. It will give you access to poisons, which is integral to several of my boss strategies, because without their weakness to the poison, it would have been a bitch to kill them. So like, just keep that in mind. Stone Roots, you do the bounties for them. You give them, like the 5 ears or the 3 ears or whatever of whatever particular enemy, and make sure you get at least 2 poison vials. Get the health potions with every other one, but definitely get 2 poison vials. The poison vials will refill. You'll get them every time you start a sanctuary. That way you will always have them for boss attempts. And it like I said, it's integral. So as you can see, it's the same thing over and over again, you guys. Like, as you can see, this boss is pretty straightforward. Oh, also, I'm going to mention real quick, if you're looking for a exact boss or a particular boss, I'm gonna have them listed below with times. I guess I should have said that earlier, just in case, if you just found that and you're like, thanks ass, and you didn't have any reason to listen to the beginning of this, I apologize. I am an ass. I'm a stoner ass. Anyway, so that's basically how you take down the Unspeakable Deep. It's all about dodging, and you'll find that in this game, it reminds me a lot of Bloodborne in that aspect. If you're playing the Thief, is you're not going to be blocking too much. You will be parrying with your shield, but you're on bosses, you're pretty much dodging everything. It's not about blocking, it's about dodging. There is a couple of exceptions, but anyway, guys, so that's the Unspeakable Deep. And like I said, we're doing these in the order I fought them in, so there might be some that are a little out of place. If there are, I apologize. Up next, we got the Sodden Knight, I do believe, and this is the first boss in the game, and he's kind of gonna serve as like kind of a tutorial on most of the future big boss. There's a lot of big knights and shit in the world that you have to fight. So as you can see, he's gonna pull his sword out, he's gonna just do that one, boom, that one, and the jump slam. Basically with him, like the strat, and he does this lightning on the ground. Make sure you jump over that because that'll wreck your ass. Yep, jump over that. You see what I mean? And so this guy, when you start doing this guy on your thief, you're gonna, this is gonna be a pattern for you. You're gonna be doing a lot of dodging, a lot of getting behind to get safe hits, and a lot of jumping to avoid things on the ground, or even just, things that they're throwing at you. There's gonna be, you're gonna want to be acquainted with your dodge and your jump, and it's very important on the thief. But as you can see, this is like, any first boss in a game he's not really that tough. You probably aren't even here for him, but just in case you are the one person that was here for him. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing you're here for him, man. Honestly, sometimes when I'm stuck on a boss, just watching somebody kill him, it can make all the difference in the world. So that's why I'm including him in this guide, man. Because you never know. What's easy for me and simple for me might be extremely hard for someone else. It's like stealth games, man. I'm trash on those. And I'm sure some people are just like, what a noob, you know what I mean? But like, I enjoy looking up, if I'm playing like Alien Isolation or something like that, I want to look up a guide on it because I'm not that good, I'm not that competent, and I enjoy looking up a guide for it. So that's why he's included. As you can see though, he's not even really dealing too much damage, so you should be able to heal through at this point. But yeah, this guy will be basically a very good tutorial of what to expect from the big knights in the world. They all do sweeping big attacks towards you, and they all, you pretty much are dodging behind them and hitting them with the big knights, And then the little knights you can parry, and you'll learn that throughout the world. But yeah, the parry is very important on a lot of these knights within the world. But anyway, guys, that's how you defeat the Sodden Knight. That's him finished. And now we got my personal favorite boss, the Queen of Smiles, because she was a lot of things, but she was not the Queen of fucking Smiles. She had me screaming and pulling out my hair for a long time. She was very difficult because at this point I still only had my dagger, which was the best weapon I had when I got to her. You might want to maybe search around. There may have been a better weapon for the thief before this point, or maybe even buy the Vangartha, which is the sword I ended up buying from the blacksmith. Anyway, so as you can see, she's pretty straightforward in the beginning. She does that one. That one is, see, now this is the part that I was having trouble with her. Is when she comes down like, okay, so she does the running one, and that's when I was like, I knew I was safe to hit her. You see, when she did it there, I could have hit her, but then she has a follow-up, at which she will chain twice. She'll go boom, up, and then back down like that. You see what I mean? So sometimes she's safe to hit right there, and sometimes she's not. So I just wasn't taking the risk. With the swords, I was running way away. This, as you can see in the beginning, is when I was pretty much trying to hit her. Was just trying to get behind her when she did the sweep attack on me so I could safely hit her, because I knew that I could. You see what I mean? Like right there, I didn't expect that third follow-up. For some reason, I was just like, sometimes she was doing 1, sometimes she was doing 2, sometimes she was doing 3, and the animation was always the same. So I was just making sure that I was going in at her when she was doing that one. The one where I could get behind her and, dodge right through her and start hitting her. And man, dude, she has such a cool ass boss design though. And I love this room you fight her in. I mean, I was stuck on her for 8-9 attempts, but each time, like, I was just like, this is so awesome. Because this was that first boss that got my blood boiling to where I was like, this fucking bitch, you know what I mean? But still, at the same time, every time it said the Queen of Smiles, I was just like, these fucking assholes. And part of me was just like, kind of chuckled a little bit, And so, like, with her less than other bosses that I'll mention later on, I found myself a little, there was just something about this boss. She was easy to come back to. But like, she just keeps doing this, and she will spam attacks like all bosses in this game. Some of these bosses have attacks that make them incredibly inconvenient to attack, and they'll just like get caught in a loop with these and just spam them. Reminds me heavily of Dark Souls a lot, when there was just those those times when on the bosses you couldn't attack them, period. You know what I mean? Because you were waiting. Okay, now I can hit them. Okay, waiting. I can hit them now. You see, now this is what she's going to do a little bit under halfway through health. When she starts to do her swords, she's going to do that big sweeping wave. That's why, if you noticed, I've made it practice up to this point to just stay the hell away from her when she does those swords, because it's super hard to dodge that if she begins it when you're on her. But when she's coming at you, you can get through it. Now the problem is with her blades. If you notice, she's just swinging her arms like crazy, right? Well, if the sword happens to hit you, even if you're right there, you see that? How the sword lined up perfectly with me and it smacked me? That was the other problem I was having. Is if that sword lined up perfectly with my character, I was going to get hit even if I was in a dodge. Like, you have to hurry and dodge under her arm as it goes, you know, like dodge with her whirlwind, which makes it hard when she's, you know, like reverses it like that. So yeah, she was a lot of things, but she was not the queen of fucking smiles. She was the queen of fucking assholes. But that was a very clever name, and I enjoyed it. And I really did I enjoyed all the bosses in this game. Like, straight up, they were fucking frustrating as hell. Some of them had me pulling out my hair. But in typical, like, just with that Souls formula, you know, you get that sense of just, like, such accomplishment when you kill a boss. It's like, ugh. That fucking boss fight, dude. There's nothing I like more than a good boss fight. And the Queen of Smiles was a better boss fight than most, you know, that I've had in a while. You know, she was tough. These bosses in this game really reminded me a lot of when I was playing Bloodborne. But then there was also, when I beat Dark Souls 2, there was some stuff from that in this that I recognized. And from my halfway journey through Dark Souls 1, there were also things that I, you know, like there was just a lot of things that resembled those games. It's just a fucking amazing game. So as you can see towards the end, I waited and I played it safe. One thing with her, don't get greedy, guys, because she will wreck your face if you get greedy. She is a mean bitch of a queen. So play it safe on her for sure. Alright, next up we got Plague Knight. Just kidding. This guy is straight up Plague Knight. The Mad Alchemist. He's straight up Plague Knight from fucking Shovel Knight, though. That's where I feel like he's influenced from. But so he throws these things, he throws a black shadow on the ground, and there's going to be 2 waves of them. And in the beginning, it's just 2 single, like those whirly purple things right there. You see those? Yeah. Those things you can block if you have to. And then he also does the lightning, where he throws out the lightning. And also he has the fireballs, which are they're super hard to fucking dodge. I just ended up rolling or blocking through them. And those are those ones you see. If you notice, I was able to block those. And he was tough though, man. This was a guy, he got aggressive early on. Those things are a big problem. If you notice, I've been trying to focus ads above all else, and that is what I suggest you do, is make sure the ads fucking die. Because there's nothing like, if he casts a different spell and one of them catches you and you get caught up, stuck in that blob with the fireballs and stuff, or any of that stuff, you're dead. Okay, you see now, this is his enrage point. He's increasing tempo with all of his spells. All of his spells go a little longer, they last a little while longer, and especially the big one that's really, really game-changing is this one. You see, he throws 3 down there, 3 down over there. They're going to shoot out 2 waves each, but now they're shooting 3 per wave. You see that? And this is where I was getting him to this burn phase, and I was just struggling like just bastard. I could not kill him. If you notice, I'm doing a lot of blocking. I'm doing a lot of on the spot dodging and getting away. I'm trying to focus ads, but at the same time, I understand that this is burn phase, so getting him down is much more important. But as you can see with the swords, you can hit them up there. This is the Vegariath, I can't remember what it is, but you can purchase this from the blacksmith that you summon into your sanctuary. And it's an excellent sword. I had it for a very long time until I got my ninja blade, which I can't remember the name of either. But it's a Karashi, I think. But that's how you do it. You just got to get him down in that burn phase, man. You got to play it safe, block when you can, dodge from side to side, try to stay up on those upper platforms, but you get the idea. Okay, next up, we got the Kraekan Cyclops. Now this is what I would say your atypical large boss in this game. These are going to be a lot. You're going to notice just from the Unspeakable Deep, from the first part of this video, like you'll see like it's a lot of the same, a lot of the stuff. Like even the Sodden Knight, he's got some Sodden Knight moves. Definitely watch out for the K. You see, you got to dodge these at the right time. That's the key. So he's got the jump attack. And let's see, he's got the big overhead slam that if you're up against him, you can get behind him and deal damage really easily. He's got that one where he thrusts it straight out. That one's a little bit faster than, you got to do it a little bit slower than the upper head chop. And then he had that one. You see that one? That's the straight one. And that one's the slower one. So you just got to time your dodges. Remember the overhead swipe, you got to go the fastest. The straightforward one, a little bit slower than that. And then the big one where he swipes it from the side, that one's the slowest, and you got to get it right when it about reaches his halfway at his body mark. And you roll through that. And just keep it that, it's the get behind him, dodge strategy, man. But it comes with just learning the boss's attack patterns and being able to recognize at what time your best option is to roll, and at what time the best, best case scenario, the best time to, it's on the spot rolling. But I hope this video kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of what to expect against him. Anyway, that's the Cyclops down, guys. And up next, we got the first boss that I was actually able to beat the first time up against him, and that is the False Jester. And he's pretty straightforward. He almost feels like just like a souped up version of one of the enemies that you come across with his, he does about the same kind of attack patterns as the Sodden Knight, pretty much, right? Except for that overhead one where he kind of jumps at you. But as you can see, he's fairly easy to dodge, guys. He's by this point, you should be pretty good at, and I tried to get a parry on him and it didn't seem to work. And I don't know if I just timed it wrong or not, but I just was like, at this point, I was kind of just going with I'm just going to parry the enemies in the world and dodge on bosses. And so he's got the overhead and then a combo, and then he does that, see what I mean? He's pretty straightforward. 2 jabs, running, jump. He's just, I was able to beat him the first time. So like, I hope just watching this, if you're struggling on this guy and you're actually looking for help, I'm sorry to demean your efforts. I just, at this point I was getting very familiar with the dodge. So I was able to just, work behind him, dodge through it. I still missed the timing a lot, but as you can see, I had pretty good armor on, so I wasn't taking too much damage from him, and I was able to heal through it. Like I said, I recommend the Stone Roots. Those guys, they give you the best heal in my opinion. I've tried out all the heals, and in my opinion, they give you the best. It's just the red, it seems to last longer. It doesn't heal as fast, but it seems to heal for longer, which I found was very helpful on some bosses. And in fact, some bosses I just had to sit there and spam eat that in their enrage phase just to kill them. I was spam feeding myself heals to just keep myself going through that burn phase so I could just kill them. And so with the Stone Roots, like I said, I recommend getting at least 2 of the poison vials so you have those later for the boss, but also get, just maximize your heals. And in the upgrade tree, the skill tree, get as many poultices as you can, because like heals are just good. Heals are good. The longer you can fight a boss, the longer, the odds are you're going to beat him. Anyway, so that's the False Jester, guys. Next up here, we got the first dragon we come up against, the Kraekan Wyrm. Alright, now this guy he reminds me of the dragon in Dark Souls 2, the optional one. He does this where he goes up in the air, and you see how it goes to the right? That means I've got to run to the right. And then he blows fire down like that. It comes behind him, so don't try to charge him. And just make sure, like, I'm not doing it right now very well because I'm really focused on dodging in the beginning of this right now. But I think the reason I finally got him on this attempt was I started to do these attacks on him while he's in the air. Having that extra damage made all the difference. He'll do that, so make sure if you can get behind him right there, that's ideal. And you can hit him when he blows fire out in front of him, you can hit him on the tail. But Basically with this guy, just make sure you can out dodge him and don't get hit by him, because I mean, as you can see, I'm wearing the blacksmith armor for fire defense, and it's still like, if he was hitting me with any of his fire, I was getting dead. He was killing me. He was just able to kill me. As you can see right there, oh, you see that tail roll? Watch out for that, because it appears to be this almost the same animation as when he does the fire down, but it's a little slower, and you got to anticipate it and wait until it's on you. I actually think I got that dodge roll on accident, because that looked like I was trying to roll through to get behind him with the fire, not dodge the tail, so I probably was lucky there. But yeah, you just want to, if he's coming that way, run that way, get behind him. You don't want to get too close, because as you can see when it ends, there's a fire behind him as well. So it's like, you can't really do damage on him when he's doing that, except for before his, you know, as he's leaving, you can do it. And then on his, when he's done with that big wave, jump up there and get him when he's going to descend, when he's going to land, and get back on him. Get behind him. As you can see, I'm using the two-handed sword because the shield was pointless, and I don't know if you get any more damage out of you dual handing it in this. I tested it a couple of times and I got different numbers each time, so I couldn't be certain if I was getting more damage, and sometimes it was the same on some enemies, so I don't have a definitive answer for that. I figure, you know, if I'm not using the shield, I might as well dual wield it. There's always the chance that it does more damage, you know, and so that's why I was doing it. And as you can see, that blacksmith gear, that fire defense really does help out. I was taking a lot more damage from his fire prior to equipping it, and I think this is actually my first attempt after equipping it, so that might have made all the difference in the world. So if you can use some fire resist on him, and that'll apply to a lot of different bosses for both fire resistance and shock resistance, pretty much whatever they've got. If you've got the resist, obviously use it, you know what I mean. And eventually doing that, guys, I'm telling you, cut him while he's in the air. I was able to get a lot of damage on him that way. I was able to get a ton of damage on him that way while he was in the air. And that'll get him down and move you right along to the next frustrating boss I came up against, the Tree of Men. This boss is fucking stupid. Now, the best thing I can say, in the beginning, you're meant to attack the ones with glowing red, right? Now, he's going to do two kinds of attacks when you are up here. As you can see, he's going to post his legs up into this sort of fucking tree-like roots, almost, it looks like, down there. And then his head will do that blast. And he'll do that so long as you remain up on the platforms. Now, if you're down on the ground, as you can see, he'll unwind his legs and he'll sort of stomp around down there and trying to kill you, okay? Which can happen very easily. If he knocks you off, you're pretty much done. Okay, now when you get those guys done, he's going to switch up he's going to kind of transform a little bit and get a little bit different. And as you can see, I'm working this left side because I found that the fire jets were a little easier to dodge over there with the timing. I just found it easier to be over there. But as you can see, so he landed with that one on me. When you're up here, he's going to go to slam attack you. And you can jump up and actually work yourself in a position to where you can hit him after he comes down. You see that? And that's like ideal what you want to do during this part. And this will continue. You'll continue to try to do this. If he knocks you off, it's fine. You know what I mean? Just work your way back up. Stay calm on him. Definitely have fire resistant gear on. As you can see, I have fire resistant gear on. Try to work his head up here on here. It's easier to dodge it. You can drop down below if you need to. You can jump up above if you need to. You will get hit by those jets a couple of times, but don't let it distract you and don't let it keep you from your purpose of just working this area right here. You know, and even if he hits you, just don't panic. Just stay calm. Keep at him right here. Work that head. Till finally you burn him down to a certain phase, and it's gonna to his burn phase. I'm just gonna call this the boss's burn phase. That's pretty much what it is. It's burn him or get the fuck out, because you're gonna die. If you don't burn him and get out, you're gonna die. So this is when he'll add a new ability to his repertoire, and I think it should be coming up soon. It may be just the last third of his health bar or so, maybe even just like a fraction of it. But he starts doing this attack that makes the last phase very complicated for you. This is it, okay? So when he does that, what you're going to want to do is run. Even if you have to take fall damage, and you're going to want to run up and get behind him. You see how bad I butchered that one? I wasn't prepared for it. I wasn't prepared for it, but thankfully okay, so this one I'll be prepared for. Drop all the way down, jump all the way up here. If you're down on the ground at all, you will get hit by the flames, and they will, you know, they'll kick your ass. And then we're just going to continue to do that. Bait that attack where he slams up there. And then you want to pretty much stay up on platforms as much as possible. See, so you bait him down, get a couple of hits on him, make sure you keep your heals on. Here he comes with that attack, so I come over here, and this last phase, this is just like an outlast. You can't get frustrated, you can't panic. If you panic, you're just, you know, and I was getting so mad at him, I was like, fuck. Now I gotta run to the other side, you know. He's one of those bosses where you have to outlast him. And you know, he's very annoying, very stupid. Comes down to just outlasting him, keeping your calm, keeping your cool. Don't, you know, if you got to get blasted by those jets, go ahead. They're not going to kill you, you know. Just avoid his big flame. See this? And you drop down here. And I feel like that left side's the side to be on in the beginning, because not only is this right side, I feel like these were at a little weirder of an interval, those fire ones, but the upper platform breaks. And that's just annoying as shit. So I used that as like okay, if I have to dodge his attack, I'm going over there. But in preference, I'm staying on the left side. So as you can see, you just gotta, just keep it together, make sure you stay calm, let him do his thing, and eventually you will take that tree of man son of a bitch out. Alright, now coming up on the last boss in this video, I'm gonna have a second part. But this is the last boss in this video. Now this is sort of a Celestial Emissary, a Briatus situation for Bloodborne, if you understand. This is the boss you'll find in the dome area, but he's like really easy. And the next boss is much harder. As you can see, he does where he throws tons down, and then he does that. And that, as far as I can remember, that's about all he did. You either needed to stay under him or stay out of him. You know what I mean? So he's forcing you out so he can do that one. And then when you're in, he's going to try to force you out again by doing the other one. And just rinse, repeat. He's really easy. I'm sure you'll be doing a lot of damage to him by this point without even trying to. But anyway, guys, we'll pick this up in my next video. Thanks for watching. Part 2, I'll have a link to it below. I hope you guys were able to find some help out of this video, and I love you guys. Thanks again for watching. Take care. I'll see you at part 2 for the third lamb.